Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are opening up a very special toolkit. It's the one every great leader needs to diagnose and, well, heal the problems that pop up in any organization. We're going to learn how to be an organizational doctor.
So, picture this. You know something's wrong. Productivity's dipping, people just seem down. It's a situation so many leaders face. But like a doctor with a patient, you can't just throw medicine at the symptoms. You need the right diagnostic tools to figure out what's really causing the illness under the surface.
So how do we get good at this? Well, in this explainer, we're first going to define what a good diagnosis even looks like. Then we're going to stock our toolkit with 4 really powerful models, and each one is designed to show us a different layer of an organization's health.
Okay, let's dive right in. Before we start grabbing tools, we have to be crystal clear on what we're even trying to do. What does it mean to diagnose an organization?
In short, it's all about getting past the obvious symptoms, like that low productivity, to really understand the root cause. It's a structured way to stop guessing and start asking, okay, what is actually going on here? All right, our first tool comes from Rensis Likert, and you can think of it like a thermometer. Its whole job is to take the temperature of an organization's human element, its culture. This model is so important because it forces us to look at that invisible stuff, how authority and communication really work day to day. Likert basically sorted management styles into 4 buckets. On one extreme, you've got System 1, the exploitative authoritative style. Think total top-down control where fear is the main motivator. Then, as you move along the spectrum, you end up at System 4, the participative style, which is all about collaboration and high trust.
And here's the thing. Likert wasn't just observing. He was making a case. He was a huge advocate for System 4, believing it was just better. For him, real, lasting success came from empowering people, not just controlling them. That was a pretty radical idea back then.
But of course, it's not that simple. While this model was a game changer for focusing on people, it got some serious pushback. Critics basically said, hey, organizations are way too complex to fit into just 4 neat boxes. And sometimes the best style totally depends on the situation, right? A 5-alarm fire probably needs a different approach than a creative brainstorming session.
And the critiques go even deeper. The research was done in a very specific context, mid-century America. So you have to ask, does it apply everywhere? Plus, there's this classic chicken and egg problem. Does being a participative System 4 company cause you to be successful? Or is it that successful companies can just afford to be more open and participative? It's a tough question.
So, if Likert's model is our thermometer for the company climate, our next tool, from the brilliant Kurt Lewin, is more like an X-ray. It lets us see the invisible forces that are either pushing us forward or holding us back.
The big idea here is so simple, yet so powerful. Any situation you're in right now is essentially held in place by a state of equilibrium. It's like a tug of war between 2 sets of opposing forces, the ones pushing for change and the ones pushing back, trying to keep things exactly as they are.
And using this tool is a super clear step-by-step process. You start by getting really specific about the change you want. Then you just brainstorm all the forces working for you and against you. But the real magic happens in that last step, making a concrete plan to pump up the good forces and weaken the bad ones.
Okay, let's make this real. Imagine this box right here is a change you want to make. Let's say rolling out a new software system across the company. The analysis begins by mapping out all the forces that are acting on that proposal.
So first, you list out all the driving forces. You can think of these as the tailwinds pushing you forward. Maybe your competition is already using this tech to get an edge, or maybe your customers are flat out asking for the new features it offers. These are all the reasons to make the change happen.
And then you've got to face the music, the restraining forces. These are the headwinds blowing against you. It could be employees who are afraid of learning a new system, or maybe you just don't have the budget for proper training. By getting these all down on paper, you know exactly what hurdles you need to clear. Okay, time for the full body scan. Sometimes a problem isn't just about culture or about one single change. Sometimes it's systemic. The issue is woven into the very fabric of the organization. For these situations, you need a model that gives you a holistic view of how everything is connected. 2 absolute classics for this are Leavitt's Diamond and Weisbord's 6-box model. Now, they each give you a slightly different map of the organization, but they both help you see the whole system at once. And more importantly, they help you find where the connections are broken.
Levitt's model is built on one absolutely critical idea: interdependence. He says you have to look at four things: the task, the structure, the people, and the technology. But here's his main point: you can't touch one of these without affecting all the others. If you bring in new technology, it's going to change the work people do, their roles, and maybe even the whole company hierarchy. It's all connected.
Weisport's model is more like a diagnostic checklist. It gives us 6 key areas to look into. Are we actually clear on our purpose here? Does our structure even make sense for that purpose? Are we rewarding the right things? It helps a leader go through methodically and find the trouble spots just by asking these smart questions to make sure everything's aligned.
Okay, so we've looked at a thermometer, an X-ray, and a full-body scan. We've got these incredible diagnostic tools. But what's the single most important lesson for any aspiring organizational doctor?
It's this: there is no silver bullet. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. You can see how Leichert's model is amazing for diagnosing culture issues, but Lewin's is way better for managing a specific change. The real skill is knowing that different problems need different tools.
And this is the real secret. The point of these frameworks isn't to spit out a perfect answer for you. Their job is to make you a better thinker. They guide your curiosity, they force you to look at problems from new angles, and ultimately they help you ask much smarter, more insightful questions.
Real expertise isn't about memorizing one model. It's about knowing which tool, or maybe which combination of tools, to pull from your toolkit for the specific challenge in front of you. It's all about seeing the whole, messy, complex picture before you even think about prescribing a cure.
And that leads me to one last thought for you. When you look at the world of work today, with remote teams, AI changing everything, new generations in the workforce, which of these classic tools do you think we need most? Should our focus be on the culture, on managing change, or on the whole system? The answer to that? Well, that might just define who the successful leaders of tomorrow will be.